Hello, everyone. I'm excited to spend a bit of time with you this morning and talk around modern digital selling. So, this sort of new era in sales where we no longer are limited to just a phone to reach our prospects and customers, but we now have social media, we have video, we have instant message, we have all these new tools. So, I'm going to share a few insights into that and a few of my top tips on how you can leverage that to its potential. So my name is Daniel Disney. I'm a LinkedIn social selling trainer, speaker, and author. I wrote the book, The £1,000,000 LinkedIn Message, and I have my second book coming out in April, which is The Ultimate LinkedIn Sales Guide. I'm also the founder and owner of The Daily Sales, which is LinkedIn's most popular page for salespeople. My passion is very much sales. I worked in sales my entire career. And I'm very driven both to be the best that I can be, but to help sales teams and businesses be the best that they can be as well. A few numbers and just go through these very briefly, but I've been able to achieve a lot on LinkedIn from a sales perspective. I've generated millions of pounds in revenue directly through LinkedIn created opportunities, and also grown a big audience, and my content reaches a lot of people. But enough about me. I'm here today to talk to you about how sales has changed and how you and your teams can use it sort of to its full potential in this new era of modern digital selling. So the first thing I want to do is, I guess, encourage you to think about it differently. So if you can see the maze on the screen, many of you will know those puzzle mazes. There are 2 to 3, maybe 4 doors that go in. One leads to the middle, and all the others lead to dead ends. Well, this is what I've repurposed as the modern day sales prospecting maze or sales communication maze. And every single one of your prospects and customers, your company's prospects and customers, even you and me as consumers, we each sit within a maze and we have different preferences. So each of the doors going into the maze represent the different ways you can communicate with your prospects and customers. And then we, as the consumer, as the prospect or customer, have different preferences as to what method of communication we prefer. So as an example, now I've spent years making cold calls and training cold callers. That's how I spent the first part of my sales career. But as a consumer, I hate being cold called. If an unknown number tries to call me, I won't answer. So if you were trying to sell to me and cold calling was your only method, you probably wouldn't reach me effectively. And unless you try something else, you lose me entirely as a potential customer. Now, if you use LinkedIn or social media, obviously, you're going to have a much better chance of getting to me. I'm also very active on email as well. And everyone is different. There is no right or wrong with this. There's no better or worse. We just have different preferences. Some people love the phone, and the only way you're going to reach them is by picking up the phone and calling them. So it's seeing that sort of wide vision of realizing that everyone has different preferences. And now in sales, in business, and in prospecting, we need to be using as many of these tools, as many of these doors into the maze as possible to reach the maximum amount of people. If you're not using any of these doors at the moment, you are simply missing out on the people that are going to be the only way you're going to reach them is by using it. So today I want to share a few thoughts on how you can start to use multiple doors to get to your customers and how you can use them effectively together, because they're not individual methods. They intertwine and they can be used in a cadence, in a strategy that brings them all together where one complements the other. Now, I just want to clear up one big sort of confusion that often happens when people think about bringing social media into the sales process. And that's the big difference between social marketing and social selling. Sales and marketing are two very different things. And when I talk about LinkedIn and I talk about marketing, I shared you some of my numbers, lots of followers, my content reaching lots of people. Well, those are marketing activities. They're not sales activities. Obviously, generating revenue and opportunities are sales activities, but a lot of it can be seen as marketing. So I just want to clear up one of the biggest sort of confusions in sales right now. When you use LinkedIn, when you use any social media platform, there will be things you do that generate inbound leads. And who doesn't want good inbound leads? So marketing has its place in social. The selling part is when you sell. And selling is about proactively starting conversations, not waiting for people to come to you, but going and finding opportunities to create yourself. And there are so many ways you can do that on social media. It could be something like looking at the people who viewed your LinkedIn profile and sending them a message. They viewed your profile, but they haven't sent you anything. They've shown no interest. You go to them and you start the conversation. That's where the selling comes from. And in my experience, it comes from that fire burning within, where you're always looking for opportunities. And going back to the maze, that's what differentiates modern day successful sellers from the not so successful sellers, is they have that fire burning and they're looking for every single opportunity out there to engage their prospects and customers into conversation. So I want to share a few tips on how you can bring LinkedIn effectively into the process. And then I'm going to be discussing how you tie it in with all the other important methods, such as cold calling, email, video, text, etc. The one thing that I can't stress enough, and I think we'd all agree this is a key theme in sales, is the importance of consistency. If you want to succeed by making cold calls, you have to consistently be making lots and lots of cold calls. And it's the same with LinkedIn. It's the same with text, email. You need to be doing it regularly and consistently to be able to deliver a response. It just doesn't exist where you're going to send one email, or you're going to make one cold call, or you're going to send one LinkedIn message and suddenly someone's going to come and say, yes, I'm ready to buy. We need to keep pushing. So consistency is a key theme in this. But I'm going to share with you a very quick, easy 3-step system for you and your teams to get started on LinkedIn. And again, bring that into your existing sales framework. So my 3-step system is super, super simple. 3 activities, minimum 5 minutes each. And I would be worried if no one or everyone on this couldn't find 15 minutes at least in a day to push into new activities that could generate new business. So activity number 1 is adding connections. So this is growing your network. These are the amount of connections and followers you have on social media. Now, unless you're proactively growing it, it's probably not growing, and you're simply missing out on choices. It's like getting up on stage and speaking in front of an audience. Would you rather get on stage and speak in front of 10 people, or would you like to get in front of a stage and speak to 100 people, or 1,000 people, or maybe 10,000 people? The more people you speak to, the more potential opportunities you're likely to generate. So your audience is valuable, and it's important to grow that. Number 2 is share and create content. We want to give value to our prospects and customers, because when we give, we get. We're not just going out to take. That take sales mentality died a long time ago, where the salesperson was all about the talk and the ego and the pressure. That type of selling went away a long time ago. It's now a give first sales world. Regardless of what platform you use, we need to give value first, and content is one of the best ways you can do it. So share content on social media that's valuable to your audience, but do it regularly and do it consistently. Tip number 3 is engage online. So this is actually getting your name out there, so people get to see you and know you. We no longer just have corporate brands, we have personal brands. And by you and your teams getting their name and commenting on posts and engaging in their industry, it's going to make your company look significantly bigger, and it's going to help drive more eyes and business to you. So those 3 activities, minimum of 5 minutes, either morning or afternoon, done regularly, daily and consistently, always done with purpose and value. This isn't about, right, I need to add people to sell. No, you're adding people that you think you can help. It's doing it with the right purpose and right value. We're switching off our sales autopilot, and we're going in as sales professionals that want to help people. So let me just quickly go through a few more things on these. So adding connections, again, could be 5 minutes a day, just adding people that maybe are on your cold call list. And this is where you bring these things in. So if you've got a list of phone numbers you're going to call today, why not connect to every single one of them? We know you're only going to speak to, if you make 100 calls, maybe you speak to 10. Of those 10, maybe 2 show interest. So what about the 90 that you don't speak to? You might try them again and maybe you reach a few more, but a lot of those often just go to the bin. Why lose them? Add them all on LinkedIn, follow them all on Twitter, and bring them into the social selling mix where you can start to share content and maybe, send them a LinkedIn message. Hi, John. Sorry, I tried to call you today. I imagine you're super busy. Thought I'd pop you a quick message on LinkedIn and then ask them a question. There are people that don't have time to answer your calls, but they're happy to reply to you via LinkedIn message. Suddenly, you've got your 10 conversations on cold calls. Maybe you've got 10 more people that are messaging you on LinkedIn. You've doubled your results by just doing essentially what was probably a 10-minute activity and sending a few connection requests and sending a few messages. Not a lot of time. So every day we're growing our audience, growing them with the people that we're calling, growing them with the people we're having meetings with. But every day it's growing. And what might be 500 connections now might be 5,000 by the end of the year or the end of next year. And suddenly we're speaking to lots more people, generating a lot more opportunities. Remember, we're sharing and creating content. So all those people that either did answer our cold calls or didn't answer our cold calls, we're now connected on LinkedIn and they're getting value from the content. So no longer are you just a salesperson trying to cold call them. Actually, you're a thought leader. You're someone they respect in the industry and you're giving value through your content. So by sharing good content regularly, it's giving value to them where they feel they've got something and actually they realize, oh, actually they look like they know what they're doing. I'm going to reply to the message or I'm going to give them a call back. And I tell you this from experience, when they do call you back or they do message you back, they compliment you first. Hi, Dan, really enjoyed your blog today. Sorry I missed your call yesterday. I was busy, but I would be interested in discussing your product or service. Because you've given value, they come to you. And it becomes a level playing field, not the salesperson desperately trying to earn respect from their prospect, a level, mutually respectful playing field. The final bit is engaging online. So again, every day you're adding comments, you're liking, your name is appearing multiple ways across social media. So people see you. And again, the more they see you, the more they build a relationship with you, the more they build trust. We know people buy from people. And engaging online, building that personal brand is your chance to show your prospects and customers you are not just another salesperson. You are not just another company that only wants to sell something, but you're a company made up of real human beings, real people. And those build far stronger, way more longer lasting relationships that go way, way into the future. So grow your audience every day. Make your network valuable. Share content that's valuable every day. Give to your audience, to your prospects, and then engage with your customers and prospects by engaging in their content and giving value. Think about it. When someone clicks like or comments on your post, if you post, it feels good. And you could do that for your prospects and customers as well. So those 3 steps can unlock a lot of opportunities and then integrate it with everything else you're doing. Maybe you try and cold call them first. Then you connect with them on LinkedIn. Hopefully you'll probably leave a voicemail. So maybe you send a LinkedIn message. Maybe they don't reply. So you engage in their content. Maybe they're still not replying. So why not send them a LinkedIn voice message or a LinkedIn video message where you can actually talk to them through the camera? It's as close to face and you'd be amazed at the conversion rates. Bring it all in. Bring it all in together. There's all these tools that you have available now. And if you only choose to do one, you're limiting your results. So a few little thoughts and tips, tricks and insights into modern day selling, bringing LinkedIn into a traditional sales process, and just 3 things I'd recommend you get started with that can really help you start getting some results from LinkedIn, social media, and social selling. I think we're going to have some few questions now, but that's my key slides done. If we're not connected already, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions after the session, I'm here to help.